Hello my fellow freedom builders and welcome back to the channel. It has been a couple of days since my last video and I know that is a bit unusual, but I have been following the election in the United States pretty closely and also had to do a bit of research for a couple of topics, so I hope you were alright even though there wasn't my daily videos here. Now, today I am gonna look at the best EV stocks to buy right now. It has been a little while since I have touched on the EV space here, but today I am gonna have a quick look at 15 or 16 different EV stocks that could be interesting. Now, I am gonna look at them from a technical analysis point of view. And the reason for that is that most of the EV stocks are actually not very good on the fundamental side. It doesn't make much sense if you believe in a stock and you think it's going through the roof and everybody's running for it and you can see the trend is there, the trading strategy are saying buy, but you're being held back because they haven't earned money yet. And most of these EV stocks are just starting up. They are doing these reverse merger and IPOs and so on. And they are mostly plays that people put money into in the hope of these stocks being the winner in this sector. So what we're going to look at today is if the markets are saying buy. Do we, from our technical analysis, get some sort of buy signals on any of these 15, 16 stocks I have chosen? So let's have a look at them. Now, before I really get started, I would like you to consider subscribing to this channel, liking the videos and all that, because that means a lot for me when I can see the audience are growing and more people are getting to know this channel. So please consider subscribing. I would be very thankful for that. All right, let's get to the start of these stocks, and Tesla is the first one. I could say, of course, it is the grand old man, if I may call it that, in this space. And as you might remember, I actually took a position up here in something like 445 on this stock. It was in a trend channel. It was kind of bouncing from the 20 SMA, but it went sideways and a bit down, and I actually sold it here again. And that might have been, I think I took a loss at 8%, something like that. Doesn't really matter, because when these hype stocks really are moving, you can easily make these 8% back. Actually, the way I make a living investing is by taking small losses. And you might say to yourself, wait, what? Taking small losses, that is losing money. You cannot make money of that. But yes, you can. If once in a while you have a big winner that makes you 100 or 200 or 1000%, then you have the money and can easily afford to take a bunch of small losses of 5 or 7 or 10%. So that is the way I invest. That is cut your losses and keep your winners running. And that can be hard sometimes, but yeah, I'm trying to practice every single day. Tesla right now is not a buy in my book. Now, you might say that it is moving into its regression channel again. And if you don't know the regression channel, I have made some videos about that. But we do have a midline here, which is a statistical regression line. And on each side of this, we have two standard deviations out up on top and down in the bottom. And as long as we stay within this channel, we are statistically in a good trend. Now, when we break out of this, the trend is starting to break. What I don't like to see is the price breaking down below 20 and 50 SMA and starting to move outside the regression channel. So I sold it again, also because I were looking at the 4-hour chart, which I'm often looking at this. I took a buy here and I could see that it's starting to trend downwards below the 20 SMA, and I thought to myself, I didn't want to take a larger loss than necessary. So therefore, I'm out of Tesla right now, but I could easily enter it quickly again. Now on to the next one. And that is one that many of you have asked me about. And that is NIO, the Chinese producer. And I see a lot of good things in NIO. They have the battery, they are replacing batteries very swiftly. I think it is within 3 minutes or something like that. And they have the good fortune of being a Chinese company in the Chinese market with the benefits that gives us. Now, I have not been I've not been paying attention on this stock, so I could have gotten in here. And when I say that, that is not just to be some sort of smart back looking guy, but I know my strategy that is 100% rules based, and I could have gotten in here around 7.5. Unfortunately, I didn't. I could also have gotten in here around the 15. Unfortunately, I didn't. However, when we bounced the other day here on this 20 SMA and every trend was saying up, I actually took a position here around 27.90-ish, I think it was, just around here. So that is actually up right now, something like, let's just say something like 35%. So that is easily paying for the 8% loss in the Tesla right now. And as far as I can tell, people are completely in love with NIO right now. That is one of the stocks that are moving, and the Chinese market in these EV space is actually moving quite quickly right now. So if NIO gets back down to its 20 SMA here, you might consider taking a position. Now I am looking at this from a 4-hour time frame here, and that is simply so that I'm making sure I'm getting out a bit quicker if it starts to drop all of a sudden. So I might get out if it goes down to 31 or something like that, and have made a little profit here. But if the trend keeps running, then I can really make a killing on stocks like NIO. Then we have Nikola, and you know what I think of Nikola. I think when Trevor Milton was there, it was one big scam. Right now, it might not be just as much of a scam. Now it is just not this revolutionizing company anymore. It is just some sort of an assembly company that are picking other companies' products, buying other companies' products, and then putting them together. And I don't really see, and I know this is from a fundamental side, but I don't really see a big future for Nikola. And it seems like the investors aren't either. Right now, anyway, it is in a downtrend. I should say that if at some point it starts to go in an uptrend, the 20 SMA goes up through the 50, we are bouncing at the 20 SMA, we're showing an uptrend, then no matter what I think of Nikola stocks, I'll probably buy it. Because when everybody's running for the same stock, then I usually tend to jump on, at least as long as it is hype stocks like Nikola. Workhorse, it has been a while since I have been in Workhorse. I was in much of the run up, and it has actually been one of my best hype stock investments this year. And I am calling it hype stocks, and I know some of you are thinking that it is a bit arrogant or saying that it is not just pure hype. But the reason why I'm calling it hype stocks, it is not that there can't be any fundamental value in it or there can't be any future, but a hype stock in my universe is a stock where people are running for it even though they don't know anything about the stock. So Workhorse might be a fantastic stock and it might go to the moon, but the reason I'm buying these stocks that are not making money is simply that other people are running for it. So I went into this stock. I've actually been in it twice and made some very good money. And when it went up here around the 30, I took it on a 4-hour time frame, and I went out. I don't remember the exact date. I think it was down here somewhere around 24, something like that. And I haven't been in it since. And right now, to be honest, I don't think it is. It doesn't really show the pattern I'm looking for. It is starting to trend downwards, and it can easily go upwards, and then I don't get in at the bottom, but on the other side, I never get out on the top. But usually with these stocks, I take a good chunk of the midsection of the price action here. I hope that makes sense. Then we have the blink charging, and in the beginning, I was actually quite fond of that, and I saw some big runs here up. Again, I went out on the 4-hour time frame, and it has been a bit interesting. I was close to enter it again, but it didn't make the exact right setup. Right now, it seems like it has been dropping a bit back and going sideways. We are making a bit of a triangle formation right here, and I would definitely want to see a break to the upside of this, and then a bounce on the 20 SMA, and I would like to see the RSI also showing the exact same sign, going up, going back, only just touching or being above the 50 line before I buy these stock. But that is a very good signal that I'm making quite a lot of money on. So blink charging, not interesting at the moment. Then we have the Akimoto, the FUV here. And again, from a technical point of view, it was very interesting when all the hype was running here. But right now, it is more or less in a very broad downtrend here, somewhere here. And as long as it's not really showing any upwards trend, I don't care about how many orders they're getting or how many good mentioning there is of it in the media or in the EV space. As long as we're not in an uptrend, it shows me that it might be good value, but nobody else is running for it, so neither will I. I simply don't know I don't know enough about all of these stocks to be able to judge when a stock is undervalued or if Akimoto have the best technology in a certain area. And to be honest, I think that most people investing in these stocks, they don't have either. They simply don't know enough about the stock. They read what they can find on the internet, but they are not experts. So in my opinion, when working with these hype kind of stocks, you don't necessarily need to know everything about the case as long as you are good at spotting what stocks the others are running for. And right now, they are not running for Akimoto. Then we have the Candy Technologies, and if you want a bit more explanation about these different stocks, then I suggest you go back. At least some of them were mentioned in a video I made earlier where I went through some of the fundamentals. Right here at the Candy Technologies, we actually have something that might turn into a beginning uptrend. We don't know it yet, but as you can see, it has gone up above the 50 line here. It is doing better than the overall market. What we can see here is that it is shooting up nicely. The 20 is above the 50 here, and if we can see something like a good pattern on the SMAs, and then of course a bounce down here to the SMAs, and we see the same here on the RSI, then Candy Technologies is actually beginning to show some sort of pattern here that might evolve into a buy signal, but not necessarily, and I never take it just saying we are close to a buy signal. I really need to see the buy signal. The next on the list is Electromechanical here, and that is a bit messy. As you can see, went up with all the hype here in the summer, went down, and right now it might be making a bottoming formation. We see a little tendency of higher bottoms here, but it has not really made any new shift to a bullish trend. So right now it is just on my observation list. Then we have the IRO here. Absolutely not in any trend whatsoever, so I don't want to waste any time here. We have Neo Technology, and if you recall, I actually mentioned that back here in the summertime. I think it was around here at 16-17-ish. I didn't take a position there myself, and if I had taken it, I might actually have exited here again. So here you could argue that you could enter somewhere here, but I'm not getting the exact right retracement and then a bounce from the 20 SMA. However, I am getting that right now. Right now we are bouncing from the 20 SMA. We are on a very good uptrend on the weekly chart, and what we can see down here is exactly what I have been telling you about. It is that the price go down to the 20 SMA, bouncing from that, and the RSI is not below the 50 line here, and it is bouncing from that. So of course be aware that there are coming some earnings shortly. But right now, Neo, and that is not Neo with an O, like the stock that most people talk about right now, but this is Neo with a U, and that is showing some very, very good signals right now, and I am considering a little speculative position here. Then we have Hyliion. I have made some stocks about them, and actually on the technology side and so on, I was quite fond of them. They were giving us some good buy signals down here around 27, 29, so on. But coming up here, we got an exit from our 4-hour chart here, but otherwise we would have gone out around the 38, 39 from the daily time frame, and they are absolutely not interesting right now. They have gone from around 60 to around 20 in just a few months, and the trend is absolutely not on the positive side here. So I'll just wait and see, and it might just, before it starts a trend again, it might come up in 50 or 60, and you might say, well, wasn't it better just to hold it then? But no, I never take this sort of risk on my portfolio, and you never know which of these stocks will come back. And it might come back, but it might take 3 years, and you're saying, yes, now it's back again, but then your money had been sitting dead for 3 years when you are when you should have been putting them into trending stocks instead. Then we have the BYD, or the BIT, or I'm actually not even sure how it is pronounced. This is the Chinese EV automaker as well, and think it is the one that Warren Buffett is in. Not that that is really something I'm considering when I'm buying a stock. I don't really care what the gurus are considering, because we don't have the same strategy. I should say I am not in this company, unfortunately. Of course I should have been, but I was simply not. I was not quick enough. But we can see here we are in a very good uptrend on the weekly chart. And we can see here that we are getting these good breaks up through the 20 SMA. Then we get some good kind of bounce down here. We could have gotten in around the 50 mark. We get a very good bounce here around the 85, 87. And as you can see here, we get the bounce without the RSI breaking the 50 line. We can see the exact same thing here. And I actually considered a position here around 125, but I unfortunately didn't. So I'm not in this stock, but as you can see, the strategy is absolutely there. Now, would I buy it now? No, not right now. I would definitely wait for a retracement. And I know that some of these stocks, they simply don't offer retracements. They just go straight up. And then you might consider, if you want to get in, but you want some sort of retracement, you might want to consider going down into the 4-hour time frame to get a little retracement there, maybe even down to a 1-hour time frame to get the retracements there, down to 20 SMA. You can see here it's bouncing just perfectly on the 20 SMA on an hourly time frame. So that is somehow you can try to catch such a runaway train like this. Then we have the Switchback Energy Acquisition, and that is the chart point stock, the BLNK competitor. I actually like this company quite a lot better, but on the trend side, I don't like it. Right now, I wouldn't buy it. This is simply too messy of a picture for me, and I'm not sure why it has gone sideways. I haven't really been checking the news on it, but right now, this is not showing the kind of trend I would like. Of course, if it breaks up here, bouncing on the 20, the RSI can show a bit more strength, then I could easily go into that as well. But right now, no. Then we have the Fisker Inc., and that is this Dane, I think his name is Fisker actually, that used to be an employee at Tesla, if I'm not mistaken. And he has made some concept cars as well, and I'm not really into, I don't know enough of the cars. But what I can say is that the stock is in a downtrend right now. I would not touch it. It is showing downtrend here, it's showing downtrend here, it's showing downtrend here. I would never buy a stock in a downtrend. End of story. Then we have the Lordstown Motors with the ticker symbol RIDE. Also one of the stocks that have been really the talk of the town. Some great buy signals down here in the 13-14 area. We could have ridden it up here. We could have gone out around at the 25 mark on the 4-hour time frame. And after that, it has simply not been interesting. We are in a downtrend right now, and I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole. Never, ever. I wait for the uptrend, and then I jump on the uptrend. Then we have another Chinese company here, and I must say that I know absolutely nothing about it, but I have gotten several questions about it, so I thought I would take the chart with here, the Xpeng, and they are also apparently making EVs for the Chinese market, and as you can see, everything Chinese right now is just moving like crazy. Now, would I take this one? No, I wouldn't, because I simply have I have too little of a data set here. I do have, of course, the 20 SMA, but I don't have my 50. I don't have my 200. I cannot see on a weekly chart if it over a long time of 6 months or a year is outperforming the overall market. I cannot really see anything. It is going up, yes, and I know that I'm saying that I'm buying stocks that are going up, but they need to go up in a certain way, and I need to be able to see the right pattern that I am making my money on a day-to-day basis. And this one, I simply don't have enough information from this chart, so I would never buy this stock. That's also the reason why I never buy into IPOs and so on, because a stock just showing me something like show me something like this, and that is simply impossible to analyze anything from. So Xpeng, no thank you. Then we're back to Tesla, and this was all the way around. I think it was 16 candidates here, and there were a few that actually could be interesting. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research, do your own analysis. If you have a preference for some of them making money, then Tesla is actually just about there as one of the few ones. And then many of these have their specialties. One of them is a compressed natural gas truck maker. Another one is primarily making electrical scooters. Some of them are charging companies. So you might want to dive into different sectors here. This was just a broad overlook, and I hope it brought you some sort of inspiration. That's all for now. Remember to subscribe. And by the way, I would urge you to subscribe to my newsletter. I am starting to write out these newsletters, and there are coming some very interesting news on the English product side. Many of you have asked me if I could make some sort of subscription service like I do for Danish customers, and that is very time consuming, so I will probably not be making a service like that. But I might make a light service of some sort, maybe one where I am tracking these hype stocks, and also one where I am putting a lot of my ETF strategies into. I am investing a lot of my money into ETF momentum strategies. They are on average making 12 to 15% per year with a very controlled drawdown, and we're also setting up an investment fund just with these strategies. So if you want to know more about that and make sure you don't miss it, then make sure to go into the website here, buildingfreedom.dk. I'll also put a link to it below, and you can see this financial turtle where we are focusing on getting rich slowly, and sign up for the newsletter. That's all for now. Take care of yourself and your money out there, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.